What we've done is we've optimized the digital economy for the accumulation of capital instead of optimizing it for the velocity of money. And the latter, the velocity of money, is much more consonant with the distributed architecture of the internet itself and would lead to a whole lot more happiness than what we've got. You know, the easiest way of understanding the problem is that there's all these great developers who are willing to disrupt one industry or another. You know, they'll disrupt publishing or disrupt music. But then as soon as they've got their idea kind of down, they run to the equivalent of Daddy at Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley, and they surrender their disruptive idea to another operating system that they act as if it isn't even there. They assume that venture capital and an IPO and acquisition and the stock market and 100x returns, that's just this pre-existing condition of nature, that's the real system that we have to somehow succumb to. And so you look at something, you know, when I saw, and these are friends of mine. I mean, we all have friends now who are billionaires, which is strange in itself. But I saw the founders of Twitter on the cover of the Wall Street Journal the day they had their IPO. And under each of their faces was the number of $1 billion that each of them were worth. And I'm thinking, here, I know two different people who are worth over $5 billion each. But I found myself feeling sorry for them, because I realized that these are the guys, they disrupted, you know, Visa and MasterCard with PayPal, originally anyway. They disrupted journalism with Twitter. And now here they were surrendering what they had done and surrendering all that disruption to the biggest, baddest industry on the block. You know, because when they let you ring the bell at the NASDAQ Stock Exchange and clap for you, it's not because you've done something disruptive, right? It's because you've confirmed the primacy of corporate capital to the whole scheme. And you've enslaved yourself and your company now to pivoting towards 100x or 1,000x return and away from whatever it did. So now we're here with Twitter, one of my favorite apps, by the way, Twitter, a 140-character app that makes $500 million a quarter. And that's considered an abject failure by Wall Street. That's a failure. And the company now has to go become what? They got a video, advertising, blah, blah. And where goes Twitter? You know, and so what I wanted to do was figure out what could they have done and what could we do to have a development path that leads to something other than just magnifying this growth imperative, which is driving us off a cliff anyway.